It is a special privilege for me to be invited in such a very important forum, which is solely dedicated to sports and health tourism in. Let's take a very close look at this sports and health tourism industry, a universal perspective, because it's important to understand the main notions of it. In our everyday life, the two most common words which are being talked around as a pair of running shoes are physical fitness and health. Health is always a word associated with physical fitness, which in itself refers to a status of the optimal physical, mental, and social well-being. The definition of health nowadays is tremendously expanded. Why? Simply because it has included in the notion, the concept of wellness, which in itself is a state of well-being that enables individuals to reach their full potential in their life, in all health dimensions, whether those are emotional, intellectual, spiritual, social, and physical as well. So now, from that illustration over there, we can see clearly the cycle of the health is very simple, but it tells us exactly how that works. And we have to bring our full consciousness in understanding that, because physical activities and sports in general, they do affect the physical fitness, and physical fitness on its own does actually influence wellness. So that is a good cycle of health and wellness. The correlation between physical fitness and health, they form the foundations of sports and health, tourism, philosophy, and ethics. This is very important. In many ways, sports and health industry is one of the very the most ancient forms of tourism. If one considers, for example, the special attention that Greeks and Romans paid to the well-being, and we have such as a quest for spiritual enlightenment in medical pilgrims, medical seaside, spas of 18th and 19th centuries by European elite, and so on. In many ways, we do have to focus on sports and health industry and knowing how to develop that from ground up. First thing is to get a full approach. How does that help and serve to the community? Arguably, however, there has been an unprecedented intensification in pursuits of health and sports in the history of tourism in recent years. Is there any reasons for that? Yes. There are 5 very important reasons for that, which we call it like a conceptual framework. Firstly, the popularity of international and the national sporting events is drastically and significantly increased, such as Olympic Games, World Cups, European Championships, and other national championships known by regions as well. Secondly, there is a wider understanding of health-related benefits that can be achieved by participation directly actively in physical activities and sports. Thirdly, the governments and leaders around the world, they have started to begin to pay a special attention and to appreciate the role and value that sports and physical activity does play in both economy and national and international relationships. These are the foundations, and they are part of that philosophy and ethic that we spoke seconds ago. Fourthly, there is a wider and carefully programmed variety of sporting events on offer throughout the year. This is the one that I was talking. Fourthly, there is a wider and carefully programmed variety of sporting events throughout the year, facilitating here spectators and participants that are actively being part of those events. Lastly, sports and health-minded people they are not more mobile than the peers, but they're also able to communicate more effectively, simply because the technology has improved today, but also so is the global infrastructure as well. Let's see sports and health tourism, a European perspective. Within Europe, the term wellness is mostly used in place of sport and health tourism. That word derives from the combination of well-being and fitness itself. Sport and health tourism is possibly the fastest growing segment in the global tourism industry, with Europe as its main source of market, as well as the world's largest sports and health tourism market. That conclude to the figures that Europe itself contributes almost 250 million trips. Okay, that makes around 36% of the global market, with 691 million wellness trips as an overall. According to the sports and professionals of health and wellness and travel agents, the top 10 most important elements for European tourists are, as we can see there, beach access, pools or swimming, healthy cuisine, access to nature and scenic outdoors, fitness facilities and classes, outdoor adventure program, environmentally friendly, traditional sports like golf or tennis, doing good for local community, hot springs and mineral springs. Other key elements of that include weight loss programs, spiritual healing, which we heard in the morning from Mr. Philip, and which was a complete, very good introduction to that. And we have alternative medicine, detox options, and healthy programs. So this is basically a European perspective. A European example of successful sport and health and development. As the world's largest sports and health tourism market, Europe itself is a testimony to successful sports and health tourism development. Broadly speaking, there has been no overall strategy behind this development. Rather, that has occurred in and of itself as a result of a developing trend over a period of time, with its deep roots in the European tradition to visit spas, wellness centers, to go to different kind of health venues. The results can be seen today in a multitude of sports and health properties in Europe. The focus has been on marketing individual properties as opposed to sports and health destinations, and sector remains a highly fragmented industry, with relatively few large operators and many small companies operating in various segments. However, the sector of sport and health industry is continually and rapidly developing. Various European regions are destinations for a narrow range of sports by utilizing and emphasizing the natural environment and climate of the region. Examples of the Algarve golf, Fuerteventura surfing, windsurfing and kite surfing, Croatia, it's all about sailing, Barcelona and Mallorca, tennis, as well as various regions that have emphasized adventure sports such as paragliding, skiing, snowboarding, and mountain biking. Other regions have promoted themselves through trail running, hiking, cycling, swimming, regularly hold events to promote themselves as the ideal areas for outdoor pursuits. Do we have any other examples? Around the world, there are so many success stories. And one of those, amongst the ones that we have heard so far, is also the IMG, an example of successful sport and health tourism development, which is in the Tampa area of Florida. IMG Academy is a multi-billion-dollar company and the largest sports training center in the world, occupying 450,000 square kilometers and attracts 20,000 serious athletes a year. Its offering includes boarding schools, sports camps, adult and family programs, team training, professional training, as well as the entire physical conditioning, physical rehabilitation services, and wellness services. So as you can see, it's a full whole picture there. An entire sports tourism industry has developed in Tampa region of IMG's success, with the state of Florida estimating that IMG alone brings about $500 million every year as a contribution to that economy. How did the IMG start? It started with tennis. It was a base in which entire business was built in the mid-90s, and other sports were, incrementally added. It builds its reputation through process of differentiation and specialization. Like we heard in Sanya is the same thing. More or less, they all have the same path that they have gone through. But they have paid a serious attention of how to develop step by step and to include the core of that health services in. I'm going to talk about 17 plus 1. I mean, more or less, people may have heard here and there. This is a Chinese initiative that basically is focused on why it's called 17 plus 1, because it's all talking about Central and Eastern European countries. 1 is China, and 17 are those countries over there. Now, if we, from this picture, we can see clearly that the CEC, as we know, Central and Eastern European countries, are Albania, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Bulgaria, Croatia, Czech Republic, Estonia, Greece, Hungary, Latvia, Lithuania, North Macedonia, Montenegro, Poland, Romania, Serbia, Slovakia, and so on. Now, besides increased trade and investment, 17 plus 1 has resulted in growing ties in areas of culture, education, and tourism, culture exchanges, think tank, and NGOs. What is the EU-China Commission? Who we are and what we do. The EU-China Commission is a non-government organization approved and supported by Chinese and European authorities. It promotes economic, culture, and trade cooperation, exchanges between Europe and China. It plays an important role in implementing Belt and Road and 17 plus 1 initiatives. The EU-China Commission is has established EU CNC Albania as its headquarters, as a head office for 17 plus 1 countries. As we mentioned, it is Central and Eastern European countries. EU CNC Albania in turn uses the Eurasia Group of companies to implement directives and achieve objectives of EU CNC in the region. The two key companies of Eurasia Group companies are Eurasia Travel Experts, known as ET, and Eurasia Investment Partners, known as EAP. ET is actively participating in Belt and Road initiative by bridging culture, leisure and sport and health tourism between China and 17 plus 1 country regions. EIP is a diversified trade and investment service company that facilitates trade investment between China, Europe by providing platform to bridge commercial and financial markets between the two. 17 plus 1 as a region or geographically is varied and features many different topographies, including 3 seas, Baltic, Adriatic Sea, and Black Sea, many different alpine mountain ranges and climatic conditions. It is not only geographically varied, but it is rich in different cultures and cuisines. In fact, sports tourism originated in 17 plus 1 when ancient Greeks established the original Olympic Games. It has a reputation of excellence in certain sports, most famously tennis, where it is undoubtedly the strongest in the world, which gives the region a reputation advantage for those who follow and participate in the sports. Land is reasonably priced as well in that region. It's part of the Europe largest source market for sports and health tourism in the world, as it is proximity to Western Europe. Interest in a long hauls for health tourism is growing. Asia Pacific is especially popular among European sports and health tourists. In 2015, Asia Pacific became the fastest growing wellness travel region, ahead of European and US. Secondary sports and health tourism is growing much faster than the primary sports and health tourism, as with growing health awareness, European travelers increasingly seek to integrate sports and health elements into their trips. Due to the pressure to lower the healthcare costs in Europe, many alternative therapies are no longer covered by health insurance. such as acupuncture, holistic treatments, and so on. Sports and health travelers factor this lower cost destination in where they can receive their treatment by their own choices. Sports and health tourists are becoming younger. Their likes and values, such as adventure, environmental friendliness, and doing good for local community, are being reflected in their choice accommodations, such as eco-resort in nature and authentic retreats. European travelers increasingly look for authentic experiences, treatments, with regard to the health aspect of health sports tourism. These can range from traditional cultural-based therapies like acupuncture, body massage, body-mind, spirit retreats, etc. For example, Asian wellness experiences like yoga meditation retreats or Thai traditional massage have become very popular around the world. Adventure is becoming an increasingly important aspect of sports and health tourism, especially among youngsters. Inter-regional cooperation is intensifying, and there is a trend towards developing and promoting sports health destinations as multiple sites, towns, regions, or even between nations. Authenticity is becoming major prerequisites for sports and health tourists who wish to learn, develop, or train in their chosen sport. We have come to the aspect of suggested cooperation between Sanya and 17+1. As these are the two regions, they can most likely expand their cooperation through both platforms on two different regions for the same purpose. Given the wide range of geographical and climatic conditions in 17+1 region and the trend towards enjoying sports and health tourism in authentic national settings, both Sanya and 17+1 could benefit from brand sharing. In other words, like it is, Sanyapura is a brand in itself, and we're talking about brand sharing. In other words, establishing common standards of quality and experience, a shared booking system, and building a brand partnership program whereby certain properties or location join the Sanya brand. In this way, European long-haul sports and health tourists can be encouraged to visit Sanya, and Chinese long-haul sports and health tourists can be encouraged to visit 17+1. Multiple visits are also possible. Western Europeans can make multiple trips to a few days to 17+1 and a week or two trip to Sanya. He or she will enjoy the same standard in both his or her preferences already known to the Sanya brand. Combined sports and health tourism trips, whereby tourists divide their time between Sanya and 17+1. This may be particularly useful for supplementing natural resources or expertise which may not necessarily be present in Sanya or included in Sanya plans for sports and health tourism. For example, it would be possible for sports and health tourists with an adventure focus to combine adventure sports in 17+1 with a beach and health focused stay in Sanya. This applies equally for European, Asian sports health tourists. Regions like Thessaloniki, Albania, Montenegro, with mountains, canyons, and coastlines, are well known for adventure sports, provide opportunities for activities such as walking, hiking, canoeing, biking, rafting, rock climbing, paragliding, horse riding, rowing, to mention but a few. It also makes sense for winter sports enthusiasts to combine winter sports in 17+1 and enjoy a warm weather break in Sanya, where they can enjoy other sports and healthier makeovers. This makes even more sense where Sanya wishes to take advantage of expertise and reputation, authenticity of the 17+1 region to build combination packages. For example, 17+1, the world's undoubted top tennis region in terms of the number and quality of professional tennis players that produces. Greece, Serbia, Croatia have blue-chip credentials. Even more impressive is that this equally true for both women and men in region has not had the tennis infrastructure of the West or North America. An aura of specialness bestowed upon 17+1 and people by those who play and follow tennis. In order to make economic sense, these combination visits to 17+1 in Sanya in a combined trip require specialist planning in terms of travel arrangements. Fortunately, this expertise is at hand, as EU, CNC, Albania have established Eurasia travel experts who are equally equipped to deal with such travel experts who are fully equipped to deal with combination trips and experts in 17+1. Additionally, sports and health tourism is a major focus of our company. Opportunities exist to build reasonably large sports health resorts in both Sanya and 17+1, which, whilst operating as a profit enterprise in their own rights, will facilitate combination of visits as well. In other words, we say serving the community in both continents, in both regions. Referrals between 17+1 and Sanya with regard to the first-time visitors, this can be achieved by dedicated promotional space, brochure assistance 17+1, and Sanya properties and regions. And lastly, I would like to mention cooperation with regard to the health aspects of sports and health tourism. UCNC Albania, through Eurasia Investment Partners and other partners, is establishing traditional Chinese medicine. In other words, we are very much focused on traditional Chinese physiotherapy to bring it in the 17+1 region through a very good setup for that part of the world. These are operated by Chinese practitioners under auspicious and Eurasian investment partners so as to provide authentic treatments in authentic surroundings. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you in the fall.
Thank you. Thank you for the speech.非常感谢伊利尔金先生给我们带来的一些